If you have the new Mac Mini M4 sitting in your shopping cart, you might want to hold off, take a deep breath, and listen very closely to what I am about to tell you. Apple just flipped the script on the entire desktop market. We thought the massive redesign we got in late 2024 was the absolute peak of compact computing, but the supply chain leaks pouring in right now about the upcoming Mac Mini M5 and M5 Pro are staggering. We are talking about a generational leap that completely redefines what a 5x5-inch piece of aluminum can actually do. If you care about your wallet, your workflow, or just getting the absolute most power for your hard-earned cash, do not buy another Apple computer until you finish this video. Welcome back to Tech Vibe, your ultimate source for the cutting edge of technology. Today, we are tearing into the completely authentic, latest hardware leaks and official architectural changes coming to the 2026 Mac Mini lineup. Grab a snack, settle in, and let's get into why this upcoming machine is going to make everything else look like a toy. To understand why the Mac Mini M5 is such a massive deal, we have to look at what Apple has already done this year. The base M5 chip already made its debut in October 2025, slipping quietly into the 14-inch MacBook Pro and the iPad Pro. And just recently, in March 2026, Apple unleashed the absolute monsters known as the M5 Pro and M5 Max. But historically, Apple treats its desktop lineup a little differently. They let the laptops test the waters, and then they drop the desktop versions to completely dominate the market. That is exactly where the Mac Mini M5 comes in. Scheduled for a release in the first half of 2026, most likely aligning with the Worldwide Developers Conference in June, this new Mac Mini is going to inherit all of that next-generation silicon architecture without the strict thermal constraints of a laptop chassis. That means it can run hotter, faster, and longer than anything we have seen in this price bracket. Let's break down exactly what is happening inside the standard M5 chip that will power the base model Mac Mini. Apple has introduced something they are calling the SuperCore. This is not just a marketing buzzword, it is a fundamental redesign of their high-performance CPU architecture. The base M5 features up to a 10-core CPU, balancing these blazing fast supercores with ultra-efficient cores. But the real magic is happening in the graphics department. The new 10-core GPU features a dedicated neural accelerator built directly into every single compute block. What does that mean for you? It means peak GPU AI compute is over 4 times faster than the M4 generation. That is a 400% increase in raw artificial intelligence processing power. For everyday users, this translates to an incredibly snappy operating system, but for creative professionals, it is a total game changer. Now, let's talk about the big guns, the Mac Mini M5 Pro. If you are a power user, this is the machine you have been waiting for. Apple is utilizing their brand new Fusion architecture for the Pro and Max chips. They are literally connecting 2 dies into a single system on a chip, offering unprecedented bandwidth and shockingly low latency. The M5 Pro completely ditches the efficiency cores. You heard that right. It uses a combination of up to 6 supercores and up to 12 all-new performance cores. It is designed for pure, unadulterated heavy lifting. When you compare this to the M4 Pro, we are seeing multi-threaded performance boosts of up to 30%. That is a massive generational leap for a single calendar year. But what do these numbers actually mean in the real world? Let's paint a picture. Imagine you are a photographer or a videographer. You just got back from a grueling shoot, and you are dumping thousands of incredibly dense, high-resolution RAW photos from your latest Canon, Nikon, Sony, or Fujifilm rig onto your drive. Older machines, and even some current-generation Windows desktops, would choke on generating previews or applying complex batch edits to those massive files. The Mac Mini M5, specifically with that third-generation 3nm architecture and enhanced memory bandwidth, just chews through them without breaking a single sweat. And if you are generating AI masks in Lightroom or running diffusion models locally on your machine, those dedicated neural accelerators inside the GPU cores are going to cut your processing time down to a fraction of what it used to be. Whether you are compiling massive lines of code for an intricate app development project, running deep learning models, or scrubbing through multiple streams of 8K video, this tiny silver box is going to punch so far above its weight class that it almost feels illegal. One of the biggest complaints about the base model Max for years has been the storage and memory configurations. We all remember the absolute outrage when Apple kept selling machines with a measly 8 GB of RAM and 256 GB of storage. Well, Apple finally listened to the market. With the M4 Mac Mini, they graciously bumped the base RAM up to 16 GB. But for the M5 Mac Mini, the leaks suggest they are taking it a massive step further. We are looking at a highly anticipated bump in base storage. Industry analysts and supply chain leaks strongly indicate that the M5 Mac Mini will likely start with a 512 GB solid-state drive as the standard. This makes perfect sense, considering Apple just doubled the base storage on the M5 MacBook Air and MacBook Pro lineups to 512 and 1 TB respectively without raising the entry price. Giving us double the storage out of the gate makes the base Mac Mini one of the greatest value propositions in the history of consumer electronics. And for the M5 Pro model, you can expect the unified memory to start at 24 GB, with memory bandwidth reaching up to 307 GB per second. That is the kind of bandwidth that ensures your system will never bottleneck, no matter how many heavy applications you have running simultaneously. Connectivity is another area where the Pro model is going to truly separate itself from the pack. The standard M5 Mac Mini is expected to retain the highly capable Thunderbolt 4 ports, which offer plenty of speed for most external drives and displays. But the M5 Pro Mac Mini is heavily rumored to feature the highly coveted Thunderbolt 5. We are talking about bidirectional bandwidth speeds of up to 120 gigabits per second. This unlocks the ability to use external graphics enclosures at near-native speeds, run multiple insanely high-resolution external monitors at high refresh rates, and transfer terabytes of data to external NVMe arrays in a matter of seconds. It also completely future-proofs your desk setup for the next half-decade. Both models are also expected to receive the new Apple N1 networking chip, bringing Wi-Fi 7 and Bluetooth 6 to the desktop. This means lower latency wireless connections, more stable device pairing, and the fastest possible wireless internet speeds if you have a compatible router. Visually, do not expect a massive overhaul. Apple just gave the Mac Mini a complete top-to-bottom redesign in late 2024, shrinking it down to that beautiful 5x5-inch footprint that we all love. It looks like a miniature Mac Studio, and Apple is going to stick with this highly successful chassis for the M5 generation. You will still get the 2 convenient front-facing USB-C ports and the headphone jack, along with the 3 rear Thunderbolt ports, HDMI, and Ethernet. It is the perfect blend of form and function, taking up virtually zero space on your desk while housing true desktop-class power. So, here is the million-dollar question: what is this going to cost you, and should you actually wait for it? Despite all of these massive upgrades, the incredible 4x AI performance boost, the new supercores, and the potential base storage bump to 512 GB, Apple is expected to hold the line on pricing. That means the base Mac Mini M5 should launch at that incredibly attractive $599 price point in the United States. The M5 Pro version will likely sit around the $1,399 mark. If you are currently sitting on an M1 or M2 Mac Mini, this is the exact moment you have been waiting for. The jump in performance, especially in graphics and artificial intelligence capabilities, will be nothing short of monumental. If you recently bought an M4, you are probably fine to hold on to it unless your specific workflow demands Thunderbolt 5 speeds or you are hitting a wall with local AI generation. But for everyone else looking to build a premium, highly capable desk setup without spending Mac Studio money, the upcoming M5 Mac Mini is the absolute undisputed king of value. Keep your eyes peeled for an official announcement around March or June of 2026. Thank you so much for tuning in to Tech Vibe today. If this deep dive helped you figure out your next big tech upgrade, make sure you smash the like button and subscribe so you never miss out on the real story behind the rumors. Drop a comment below and tell me, are you holding out for the M5, or is the current lineup enough for your workflow? Stay curious, stay upgraded, and I will catch you in the next one.